Self-care is a necessity, not a luxury. And today we are going to be talking about the common mistakes that we are seeing busy, stressed out, frustrated entrepreneurs trying to implement self care into their business because the world keeps telling them that they need self care as part of their life. So I have my sidekick here, Marie Maglio, with me. And but I want to start with Marie. I want to ask you,
Sure.
let's even start with the definition of self care. What is self care to you when it comes to success and fulfillment? And what I'm always talking about is having it all. So if you don't want to have it all, you could probably just probably pause on us right now. But if you want high performance and you want to have it all, you're going to want to hear the rest of this. So tell us, Marie, like let's just talk about that. Let's just have a real conversation. Let's have a real
Yeah.
conversation about self-care. So let's first start. What even is self-care? What does self-care mean to you?
Self-care to me, I mean, is something that nourishes my mind, my body, and my spirit. It's something that I practice every day, not just when my cup is empty or I've had a bad day,
Mm,
right? So it's extremely important for me to function as an entrepreneur in my business and my day-to-day life, and especially with my health, to be able to have certain practices that work for me. Also, self care is not to be confused with self soothing. Now, self
mm.
soothing is something that, distracts you during difficult times. It's not going to help us move forward.
Would that be
It's
like having a glass of red wine?
well, it depends on the
Would that fall?
situation, right? Yeah.
True.
I mean, it depends on the situation. So, people that have a glass of wine, what is that glass of wine really doing for you, right? Is it numbing you? Is it is it because you don't want to deal with your current reality? There's a lot of reasons why people have vices, right? We all have
Hmm.
things that we go to. And, I don't want to begrudge anyone for having that glass of wine
Oh,
because,
I'm
look,
totally for it,
yeah,
but
we all
not.
do it, right? We all
Yeah,
do
but
it.
not when it's not part of my repertoire for me getting my needs met, me taking care of myself, me filling up, making sure that my cup is overflowing so that I'm serving my clients and I'm serving my family and I'm serving and serving myself. So
Yeah,
I have a glass of wine because I want to. I have a glass of
correct.
red wine because I enjoy it. Because
Yes.
so it's not part of my ritual for self-care.
Listen, Ro, anything that does harm to the body, which let's face it, alcohol does,
Yeah.
and when it's more than recommended and more than a recommended amount, it's going to cause harm. And that's why I say alcohol is a self-care mistake. It may in the moment feel like self-care, but it actually is self-soothing. It falls under the self-soothing category.
Right. What about in situations where some of these other common mistakes that we see people making when it comes to self-care? Because I see if I look out there when people put in self-care tips, everything
Yeah.
that's out there is more like do this, do that, do exercise, eat well. It
Mm,
becomes like more of like a to-do list versus what I like to call a love to list. Like I love to do this. I love to
yeah.
so when it comes to having peak performance and being the best that we can be in business,
Hmm.
what are those things, what does that look like when it comes into self-care and what the in relation to what we're talking about here about the mistakes that people are making thinking that they're helping themselves be better at what they do every day so that they could we always hear about women, you got to fill up your cup
Hmm.
so that you could, get an overflow. You actually serve from the overflow, right? But what does that really
Yeah.
take?
I mean, really, there's going to be a bunch of practices that we can go through. We could be here all day, but we look at the
Hmm.
women that say, "Hey, I could do it all by myself. I'm a big girl. I could do it all by myself. I don't need anyone." Well, that in itself is a falsehood because us as coaches, we know that coaches need coaches. It's okay to ask your friends, your family, your spouses, whomever, spouses. I hope you don't have multiple spouses, but if you do, that's fine. I think one
Some do.
sometimes is enough.
To each his
Um,
own.
yeah, but when we ask people for help, we're alleviating our task, our to-do list, right? So this is going to allow us more time to schedule the time that we need for ourselves. Because really what happens is if we don't ask for help, we're depriving ourselves of happiness and we won't get that fulfillment. So it's
Right.
really important that we ask for help and
And
don't,
so many times that not asking for help, really there's underlying, rejections and I'm not enough and I'm not good enough, all that's under
Mhm.
there that's stopping us from asking for help. It's this shame of I don't look like I know what I'm doing. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to be this powerful businesswoman if I start asking for help. So this is vulnerability issue. And that's a big mistake that we make when it comes to self-care is that we want to give this facade that we have everything together. We don't need any help, like you're saying, and then we don't ask for help. And then we wind up burning the midnight oil.
Well, it is. You burn the candle at both ends of the stick. So
Yep.
let's face it, too. If you're also doing things that, let's say you have a to do list, right? So if you go out there and you Google self help, you're going to find all the superficial AFs, I call it. AF stands for it's superficial as blank, right? We won't say the bad word there. But that's what self-care has become. It has become so superficial over the years so that they think taking a bubble bath is self-care. They think,
Reading a
reading
book.
a novel, a novel that you're escaping. Like these are the things that you need to ask yourself. It's like, okay, am I escaping from myself? Am I trying to get away from somebody else? Do I not want to be alone with my own thoughts? Uh, you know, those are the things that you have to ask yourself. And again, like
Right.
anything else, it's mostly self-soothing.
It's mostly self-soothing and it's really not really tapping into the real root problem
No,
and the
no,
cause. And it's not going to
no.
help with the frustration. It's not going to help with the stress. And it's not going to help with working too long and working too much. And then I also seen a lot of times, so what we've done is because now I think the word is finally getting out there that self-care is important, right?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
people, entrepreneurs, women especially, are starting to say, "Oh, you know what? I do need to put myself first. I do need to take my care of myself." Everybody knows about, the airplane. You put the mask on yourself first before you solve. We've been hearing that for years, right?
Hmm.
We've been hearing that and hearing that and hearing that. But what I'm seeing is we're not implementing it from the same way. So we put these routines into place. And we say, well, I have
Yeah.
my morning routine, and you have the books,
Yeah.
the 4-week work life, and you have all these great books. And it'd
Yeah.
be like, I'm going to do a routine. And that routine becomes a chore.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then it's
Well,
like,
that's what it is.
if I
They're
miss
not
my
loving
morning
it.
routine, I'm totally off. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm off for the whole day and I can't, my day is shot because I didn't do my morning routine. And it becomes this like we're implementing self-care from a place of desperation, from a place of like I have to do this,
Yeah.
like the world is telling me I have to implement self-care, versus coming from this place of really knowing what is self-care to you, and
Hmm.
how am I going to love myself to the point that I'm going to show up as a better person.
I agree. And to go to your point is that, like I said, everyone is practicing self-care the same. You notice that everyone's getting into these routines and they're like, oh, I have to take time for myself. But when they take time for themselves, I understand we do need entertainment, right? So that's very important. We do need sometimes to go on TikTok or like look at something funny, just as like it is
Yeah, we
good
need
for the
mindless
ment.
stuff.
Yeah, you need mindless
Yeah.
stuff. You need that balance. But I think the biggest mistake that most make is that they don't have the time. They say they don't have the money or they don't have the interest in doing it. And then guess what? Then it's not going to work for you.
Yeah,
So a lot of it is mindset and outlook.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And that's why, and you and I have had hours and hours and hours of conversations around this
yeah.
of what's working and what's not working. Because there is a difference between going through the motions and actually inspired and wanting to implement certain things and doing certain things. So why you're taking certain actions is has everything to do with the success of it versus just doing it because, oh, everybody says I need to meditate, so let me meditate. Oh, everybody says I need to pray in the morning, so I'm going to pray. Oh, everybody says I need to journal now, so I'm going to journal. And they have no rhyme or reason to the journaling. So you and I, after hours and hours of talking about this, we
Yeah.
finally decided, and you come from the health world, you come from the lifestyle and nutrition field, and I've tried to stump you on everything on nutrition for I don't know how many years I know you now, and I haven't done that, found that yet. Still trying though.
Yeah.
I'm still
Hey, that's
trying.
all right. I
I
don't know
know. You
everything
keep you,
by any means,
I
but
know, but
yes.
I've been trying to stump you and it hasn't worked. And but I come from the business world of women stepping into their power and women stepping into, creating that message and who they serve and who they are and getting really to know and their greatness of themselves. And you and I, after talking, it was so like, realizing that a lot of the practices and the tools that you need to implement to show up healthy, to show up vibrant, to show up, with life
You
and
know,
to,
Ro,
and
I
to
I
show up
I, I want to go
same.
back to something you said, and I don't mean to. I have
No,
to
go
go back to
ahead.
this because you spoke about emotions, and as
Mm,
women, we are such emotional beings, right?
yes.
I want to call out to all the women out there. If you say you're happy all the time, you're pretty much not being honest with yourself. I'm going to call everyone out. I'm calling
Mhm.
you all out. Self care is about living through your emotions and growing from them, right? So we're not going to necessarily shun or suppress them, right? We're not going to suppress our emotions, but it's also not about wallowing in them either.
Right.
Self care is about growth and navigating through life.
Yes.
So it's okay to not be happy all the time. It's
And we were
okay.
raised to
Yeah,
suppress our emotions. And now the
absolutely.
younger generation is like, "No, let me feel my emotions," and then that's great. But
It's like polar opposites, right? It's like
it's like
we're here
complete
and they're here.
opposites.
It's like, wow.
Well, isn't this usually what we happen? Well, that doesn't work, so let me go completely opposite. It's almost like, women, well, it doesn't work for women and low self-esteem and
Yeah.
being nice and being permissive doesn't work in business. So let me go completely the opposite and let me be an aggressive, and I don't want to say that B word,
Yeah.
and we go complete when it's always in the middle. So you and I'm so excited about this because you and I have come together and we've put together this phenomenal class where we get to go into this deep, where we get to go into really talking about what is real self-care versus fake self-care. What is the self-care practices that you need to implement that's going to result in you moving the needle, that's going to result in business success, it's going to result in you showing up the best that you could show up so that your life is the life that you dream of.
Yeah.
And
Finally get healthy, like in your mind, in your body, physically, everything. Just getting and having it all. I love your expression when you say having it all because we can have it all, but we just need to be open to it,
yeah, I
and
mean I
that's why I
mean,
love what we're doing here.
I know when I'm creating programs and I'm doing copywriting or when I'm being a creator, if I'm tired, there's no way the good stuff is coming out of me.
Yeah.
It's like, bad in, bad out, good in, good out, and there's no way. And I need to take care of myself so I could be focused and thinking clearly
Truly.
and be
Yeah.
able to, if I stay up at night to 12 o'clock and then I'm getting up the next day and then I'm starting all over again and I didn't like it just went from bing to bing to bing to bing, my brain becomes fog. My brain becomes mush and there's no way I am serving my clients. There's no way I could serve my family. There's no way I could serve myself in that mode. So Marie, tell us a little bit what we're doing on Tuesday. Tell everybody
Ah, so
and
Tuesday
we're
we're
really
gonna
excited about.
have, yeah, I'm stoked because this is a side of my life and career that I've been wanting to share with people. You know, I'm very passionate about helping others reach their full potential and getting them healthy in every aspect of their life. So we're doing a master class. We decided to pair up on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, which is the what 20,
Third,
forgot the date, 23rd.
23rd,
And at two in the afternoon. So we'll have it in the afternoon. So if
one
you guys
o'clock in
want
the
to,
afternoon.
oh, is it 1 o'clock? I messed it up. See that? Isn't that horrible? See, Ro,
Well,
this is
we
why
have
you're
the
the
link.
business
We have the link
person.
in the comments.
We'll have the link in the comments. See, this is why
I'll
Ro
show
does
up
the
at 1 o'clock. Marie
business.
will show up at 2 o'clock, so that's
Yeah,
okay.
see, this is why we have our strengths and weaknesses. She's all business and I'm, you know. But I'm really excited to do this because, we're going to give you these tools, these things that you might have heard other places, but in such a way, and we're going to deliver it in such a way that we're going to
Yeah.
debunk, we're going to get all of those myths out of the mind. And that's where we're going to bring some neuroscience into it, right, Ro?
Yep.
Like our years of neuroscience
Yep.
experiments and treatments and things that we've been
Psychology and
psychology and
mindset and coaching
everything.
and transformation, and I mean, because lack of self-care, it's just going to result in everything you do not be at your best. You're gonna suffer and then you're not gonna know why. And you're not gonna know why because you're gonna blame it on so many other different things, or I don't know this and I don't know that. And really it comes to, taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself from getting your needs met, being able to learn how to we're gonna tell you how to ask for what you want. We're gonna go into it. Self-care is not what you think it is.
No, it's going to feel
So
so good. It's going to be like when you get home and you take your bra off. That's how good
like
this
the beer
class is going
commercial.
to feel, right?
Did you see the beer commercial where she comes
No.
home and she I think it's Budweiser. She comes home, she came home from work, she kicks off her shoes,
Yeah.
she pops open the beer and takes off her bra and flings it
Ugh,
and
it's the
and and
best
sips the
feeling.
beer and be like, "Ah."
It's the best feeling. Maybe not the
So,
beer, but we get it.
so the beer commercial, I was like, "That is gutsy." So,
It
this
is.
gutsy gal has gotta be like, "All right, yeah, I'm starting to like that a little bit." So So it's going to be 90 minutes of pure content, pure value. We're going to show you I hope like some of the things that we already spoke about, and we got so much more behind our belt here of what self-care really is, how you can actually implement it and really open your eyes, bring you to that wisdom that you need to be able to implement self-care the way you need to implement it so that you
Yeah.
could have success, you could have total fulfillment. Because let me tell you, you could if you're chasing money, if you're chasing freedom and you're stuck, it's because you don't have self-care, and it's really all about fulfillment. Life is about fulfillment, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I don't want you to continue to be frustrated. I don't want you to be confused or overwhelmed. I want you to see relief from life's everyday stressors so that these practices that we're going to give you in principles are going to take you to the next level.
Right.
And it's where we're at. And listen, we're all a work in progress, but I'm telling you, this stuff are the things that we're going to teach you are the things that are going to take you to the next level. And I
Absolutely.
love it. I love it. It just makes me so excited.
I mean, you could Google self-care tips and get
Yeah,
tons of things of telling people
of
what to
course.
do. We're going to that next level. We're going to if you're not implementing, you're going to find out why.
Yep.
You're going to find out why, and then you're going to know what and how to do it. So the link is here, February 23rd,
1
1 p.m.
o'clock.
Eastern Standard Time. And we're excited. And here's your registration. Register. It is complimentary. And do me a favor, share the love. This is Love Month. So share
Yes.
the love and by telling your friends about this and having them come on with you. All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
And we
you.
look forward to seeing you.
Yes. Take care, everyone.
Take
Bye.
care.